All right. Welcome, YouTube. It's Clear Vision Wednesday time. I'm Claudia Mühlenweg. I'm your host of Clear Vision Wednesday. And today, like every week, we have an interesting topic to cover. And this week, it's yoga for the eyes. And before I bring on my guests, I just want you to ask you to follow me on YouTube here, subscribe to my channel. There's going to be a great interactive class every week, something you can learn about your vision improvement journey. And this week, and before I bring him on, I just want to share a little bit about him. Daniel Orlansky, he is the director of Boston University's yoga teacher training, and he's a member of the Association of Vision Educators, which I'm also a member of. That's our American Vision Teacher Association. So, Daniel, let me bring you on so everybody can see you. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much, Claudia.
Yeah, your credentials are super impressive, and we always post the bio underneath the YouTube because I don't want to read like a boring bio. Not that it's boring, but I'd rather have people learn from you or hear from you directly. So, first of all, tell us a little bit about your own story, because you're obviously, a very, very experienced. You're a yoga teacher trainer, and you're also interested in vision. So, tell us a little bit about your own story, how you ended up where you're now.
Well, I was prescribed glasses when I was 12 years old. Before 12, probably third grade. So that's younger than 12. I was living in Salt Lake City, Utah at that time with my parents and my brother and sister. And after that, I wore glasses all the way up till until now. I still wear glasses, but I have reduced my prescription by 50%. And interestingly enough, it's continuing to improve. And I wear my glasses less and less. I was prescribed with myopia, nearsightedness. At some point, probably 15 years ago or 20, I crossed paths with Dr. Mark Grossman, who's written 5 books on natural eye care. I think I crossed paths with him at the Omega Institute where I was teaching, and he was teaching the staff vision improvement exercises or practices, really. And I took his class, and based on that, I started to do the practices, and lo and behold, my vision got better. I worked with him also. He reduced my prescription gradually over some time, and I saw my vision improve. So I was convinced, and then I started reading, because I think reading is really important. There's so many books on vision improvement out there, starting with perhaps the Reading Better Without Glasses. I think it's from Dr. William Bates. And then, of course, The Art of Seeing with Aldous Huxley, who took himself really from being legally blind to pretty good vision without glasses using the Bates method, and then a host of other books. And so the reading, the theoretical really helped me, get the kind of the background intellectually about where does poor eyesight come from and how you can fix it and how you're not stuck with it. I also had experiences where I think the first experience, even before I met Mark, was where I was actually working in a restaurant. And at the end of the shift, we were sweeping the floor, cleaning up. And then all of a sudden, I was wearing glasses at that time. All of a sudden, my eyesight just went boom. It just became so clear. I was like, what's going on? I took my glasses off. I could see perfectly clearly. I would say 20/20. And that lasted for 4 or 5 minutes. And it just really impressed me that there's fluidity in your vision. And I started paying attention to my vision getting worse, getting better. But I mean, that's a long, long story. But to circle back to the beginning, it started with the practices introduced to me by Dr. Mark Grossman, then applying them, which really the practices, a lot of them are habits. It's not even you do one exercise and lo and behold, okay, your vision's improved forever. It's ongoing. And then, of course, through yoga, we're stretching the body, we're working with the breath, we're working with mental focus. I realized through my yoga practice, I would see, because I do yoga without my glasses on, and I would see my vision improve. I would watch it fluctuate, so to speak, also. And I realized there are certain ways of using the eyes. I had to relearn really how to use my eyes because glasses locked me into a prison of where you're just seeing through kind of a square box. And they're crutches, glasses. I'm not against glasses. I still wear them from time to time, but on the whole, I'm really still working on my vision daily, watching it improve, learning the practices that help me the most. And then I'll just comment one more last thing. I did a 10-day meditation retreat. It was Vipassana. I did the whole retreat without glasses because for, basically 10 hours a day, you're just sitting in a meditation hall. After those 10 days, I remember coming out of the retreat and going, walking in the parking lot to my car. And I looked off in the distance. I can't recall if I had glasses on or not, but my eyesight was so crystal clear. The only thing I could equate it to would be some psychedelic experiences I've had decades and decades ago, just the clarity of my vision, the brilliance of objects, because when you improve your vision, it's not just you see things more clearly, you also see them more vividly. You see colors more directly, you see the shapes. It's more three-dimensional, so to speak. But that persisted really for about a day and a half. Just incredible clarity that came through basically sitting and letting my mind come to quiet in a, I guess that's a simplistic way of saying what happens at a meditation retreat, but that happened to me too. So for all of you out there listening, I'll just say it's an ongoing practice of relearning how to use your eyes, but it's ultimately so rewarding. It's just fabulous. I'll just say one more thing. I keep on adding things in, Claudia.
It's okay.
I teach a lot of breathing practices, which are really powerful. In yoga, you have breaths that cool you down, breaths that heat you up, breaths that bring you to stillness, breaths that balance you. There's one breath I'll share today. It's the only breath in yoga for illumination. It illuminates the mind. But the most powerful thing about the breath really is not the energy you get from it or the relaxation you might get from it, but the fact that you cannot breathe in the past and you cannot breathe in the future. You can only breathe in the here and now. So all your breathing practices bring you directly to the present moment. And all the meditation traditions from the East, a lot of them work with mindfulness of the breath. Same way working with your eyes. Have you ever had the experience where, I don't know, you take a walk, let's say you walk up to the corner store, and it might be 15 minutes away to, buy something, and then you walk home. And when you get there, you realize, I walked the whole way here, but I didn't see anything. Of course, you're walking, you're stepping over the curb, you're avoiding pedestrians, but you don't really see what's around you. And what I've realized in the practices of working with vision improvement practices is it forces you to be fully in the moment. So a side benefit of, yes, your eyes are blurry, you're working on not staring, you're working on blinking, you're working on your posture and so forth, but you're observing the feedback loop is your vision, which is always around you. The side benefit is it forces you to be fully present. And there's so much benefit to that alone. Does that all make sense?
That makes so much sense. And I'm just like, yes. So you said so many great things. First of all, the awareness, right? Being aware. And I always say eyesight only happens in the present moment. And we always talk, eyesight is technically more, so that 20/20 vision, that visual focus that you said, that clear vision. But eyesight is kind of that idea that what you see right now versus foresight or imagination or hindsight and memory, right? Or kind of where our mind oftentimes is not in the present moment. So this is 100% what I teach also, that awareness, being in the present, but also what you talk about, how vision is so much more than just visual acuity, which is what we measure on the eye chart, right? When we talk about 20/20 vision, it's that vividness, it's that 3D vision, that color vision, the vibrancy, the periphery, right? There's so many aspects that a lot of people, like, especially when you locked into I love how you said the box, right? You just kind of, all you focus on is that clarity. You ignore the periphery. You might not even pay attention to depth perception. many people now have monovision correction with one eye far, one eye near, the eyes never working together. So 100% on board. And also what you talked about, mental focus, because vision is so connected to mental focus, right? Especially visual focusing, right? Versus just, being in a more relaxed state where you might not be focusing your eyes on something particular. Such an interesting connection. And that really brings me to the question, because I'm also a yoga teacher. I'm not, director of the university teacher training, but I'm a 200-hour certified yoga works teacher trainer. And I did used to teach yoga before COVID happened at a gym here in Los Angeles. And but I always was like, yoga for the eyes, was to me, I know Paul McCartney talked about it, and I always thought that, rolling your eyes left and right, yes, that could be beneficial, stretching the eyes, those things are definitely helpful. But that's not vision improvement, because you don't, like you said, you don't relearn to see, but just, stretching your eye muscles. So I was always kind of like, even though I am a yoga teacher also, I was always like, yoga for the eyes was always like, that kind of just like moving in and out and rolling your eyes, those eye exercises, I was always kind of like, that's not really working. If you only do that, right? But now we're here with you, and I'm really interested in how because clearly what you've shared so far goes beyond just rolling your eyes one way or the other, because you're combining it with so much more. But I'm really interested in finding out more about your approach. That obviously I'm a big fan of Dr. Mark Grossman. I had him on my podcast twice. He's amazing. Holistic optometrist based in New York. But tell us a little bit more about your unique approach, how you combined the yoga for the eyes with the Bates method, or whatever, however you would approach vision improvement. And I know you're going to give us a whole lot of practices that we can interactively do together, right?
Yes. The practices I teach and share really provide the infrastructure for vision improvement. Mark and I call them the 5 B's. And the first B is balance, and that has to do with your posture. Yoga improves your posture by releasing tension out of your body. We have structural tension, and learning how to have a good posture in and of itself, besides other health benefits, helps vision improvement. The second B is blink. We don't blink enough. So just adding in blinking is really important. We tend to stare and not blink. So blinking is really important. Then we have the third B would be breathing. We often don't breathe enough. Your whole energy system runs basically off the breath. If you breathe shallow, your life force is shallow. If you breathe deep, you can have a deeper life force. A full breath will give you a full life. A beautiful conscious breath will give you a beautiful conscious life. So in yoga, we have a lot of practices for the breath. I'm going to share one with you today also, Kapalabhati. So we have breath, then we have beaming, beaming just means shine your light out. It really comes from your heart, but it flows out the eyes. The eyes are windows to the soul. So just learning how to kind of radiate your life force, beaming, we call it beaming. And it has to do with smiling also when you beam, because smiling relaxes the muscles of the
Oops, is it just me, or did we lose Daniel?
He's frozen.
Yeah, Daniel, it seems like you're frozen. And so hopefully you're going to come back to us. It's the interwebs that can be tricky. I'm connected to Ethernet right now, but I do want to say a little bit about while he's hopefully coming back, and I'm going to hide this video for a second. Hopefully he's coming back soon. But the whole beaming idea is definitely, when we talk about our light and, our life vision, a lot of times in my teachings, I talk about your life vision, how you want to be seen by the world. And a lot of times people tell me, when we work with sunlight, for instance, a lot of people are very light sensitive. And so eyes are light receivers. And when you are light sensitive, you cannot take the light in, but you cannot also not radiate it out. So there's a connection. to that life force energy. And I'm so hopefully
I'm
blessed.
back. I
You're
don't know
back.
why I don't know
Yay,
why we
you're
got
back.
dropped off, but I'm
We just
back.
talked about the fourth B beaming, and I did a little interlude about sunlight and how living life
Yeah.
can
Okay.
like so go on. Okay.
Okay. So we've been up to 4. We had
Mhm.
balance, blink, breathe, beam. Guess what the last 5B is?
I don't want to guess. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll tell you. It's brush. Because it has to do with the fact that we strain to see, and brushing means you just observe your visual field in a light way. You allow vision to flow into you. So instead of staring rigidly at something to see more clearly, you brush the surface of your visual field with your eyes, which is part of the Bates method for swinging. When you're swinging,
Right.
you're brushing and allowing the eyes to relax. So those are the 5Bs. And those provide the infrastructure really, as I see it, for vision improvement. Infrastructure means those become habits of beaming, of brushing, of breathing, and also balancing your spine, balancing your posture. I think that for me, that's one of the most important as a yoga teacher, because so much of yoga, at least on the most fundamental level, has to do with the physical structure. So that's kind of how I work with it. And then, being able to, if possible, work with reduced prescription. You'd have to find an optometrist to work with as much as possible, going without your glasses and being comfortable with the blur. And then as you apply the 5Bs, for example, and maybe some other things I'll be suggesting, you'll start to see your vision changing. It will improve. And it just feels so delightful not to have glasses. I'll just say that. What I found with my students, I'm not principally a vision improvement teacher. I teach it with Mark. And I'm sharing it here with you. But what I found with my students is if their vision doesn't improve per se, it stops getting worse, which is a major thing, because for so many people, year by year, their vision degrades. And I think you can halt it. And I feel you definitely can improve it, even if you have conditions like macular degeneration, cataracts, glaucoma. You can, through lifestyle choices and through, application of creating an infrastructure in your life for vision improvement, your vision will improve. Plus
I totally love that idea of the infrastructure and setting up your life in a way where you can support your vision improvement versus working against it also. And I think it's interesting when you said you didn't wear your glasses when you studied yoga. When I studied yoga, I was already 50 or close to 50. And I did a little bit in my 40s, but I was a single mom and I could only go once a week. And I remember at that time, I did start to wear glasses again, or wore glasses again, but I also never wore them for yoga. And I was working with an osteopath here in Germany, and she was nearsighted, and she told me she can't feel the energy of the body. And then osteopathy in Germany is very different than in the United States. It's very much very gentle hands-on work with the spine and the body and all that. And I found it so interesting because she felt like the glasses kind of break that energy, that connection with, working with that body or feeling all this. And so I thought that was super interesting. And so anyway, without further ado, I think you want to share some practice with us, right? That's kind of what we're here for, to experience, whether it's just sit here and talk.
Okay. Yes, I'll share some practices with you. I'm seated on the ground, but I will sit in a chair for I'm just going to have some really gentle yogic stretches to share. But you can sit on the ground or in a chair, and even I'd like to tune us in, and you can do that also seated in a chair or seated on the ground as I am. And all I'd like you to do is close your eyes and go inside. Collect your attention and your awareness and bring it to focus on one thing only, that being your posture. I'd like you to work with me to balance your spine. Physically, I'll recommend Release your shoulders away from your ears. And as you release your shoulders away from your ears, you'll feel your chest lift a little and bring the back of the skull over the tailbone. Those are some physical cues, just a couple to help you balance your spine. What I find works even better as a yoga and qigong teacher is to align ourselves with the universal forces of heaven and earth. Visualize roots, like roots of a tree, growing out of your sit bones deep, deep into the earth. Even if you're seated in a chair, visualize roots growing deep, deep into the earth. And then see if you can feel, don't visualize, see if you can actually feel energy rise through your spine and out the crown of head, connecting you to what in qigong we call the energy of the heavens. When these two universal forces are brought into balance inside you, simultaneously, you'll feel grounded and stable, as strong as a mountain, and at the same time as open as the sky. So energetically, we align ourselves with heaven and earth so we can feel grounded and elevated simultaneously. The breath, now the breath is the bridge between heaven and earth. So without any strain whatsoever, see if you can deepen the inhale and also the exhale. Complete each exhale by gently drawing the navel towards the spine. So all the breath goes out, and then you can fill from bottom to top. One more element to balancing your spine. I call it the inner asana, which is how you present yourself, how you relate to yourself in the world. So I'll just ask you to sit with dignity and sit with balance, of course, and beauty, with openness. Open all the doors and windows. My way of saying be very present. Sit with fullness of breath and fullness of spirit. These are all ways to better your posture. Now, the balance point of heaven and earth is the heart center. So please bring hands to your heart and rub them. We're creating a little friction. And then pause. And then allow the warmth of your hands to flow into your heart. And now breathe in and out of your heart, where heaven and earth energies balance. A warm and open heart fills all environments and relationships with love. Breathe in and out of your heart. Come to a place of love and also gratitude. And add in a little smile to the corners of your mouth that you'll see on statues of Buddha. A warm and open heart fills all environments and relationships with love and gratitude and also joy. And if you feel comfortable, you can join me 3 rounds of Om. We'll chant from our heart center where heaven and earth energies balance and where love and gratitude and joy reside. Inhale deeply. Om. Om. Inhale deeply, exhale, release your hands. Okay, now that we're tuned in, I'd like to share a breath with you. It comes from yoga, named Kapalabhati, and it's the only breath in yoga for illumination. I'll show it to you, and then I'll show you how I apply it daily, really, with yogic eye stretches. First, let's get into the breath. I'm going to move back enough so you can see me. It's a breath powered from the navel point. And I don't know if you can hear the breath, but watch my belly move as I pull navel in, the breath will go out. When I relax here, breath comes in passively. So you might have to listen and see if you can hear. One way I have students actually learn it is try this out. You can place one hand on your belly, bring one hand up. You have to pretend it's your birthday, and your finger that you're holding up is a candle, and pretend you're 6, and we'll blow out the candle 6 times. So. For most people, I say 85% of people, when they blow out a candle, it's all powered from here. And the inhale comes in passively. Now with Kapalabhati, it's not done through the mouth, it's done through the nose. Kapal translates as skull. This is the Sanskrit word Kapalabhati, or frontal lobe, skull or frontal lobe. Bhati translates as to glow or to illuminate or to shine. It's the breath in yoga that illuminates the mind. It brings light to your mind. On a physiological level, Kapalabhati oxygenates blood to the brain and it cleans the blood. You've heard of anti-inflammatory diets or alkaline diets. This is a breath that supports anti-inflammatory or green diet. It helps adjust your blood pH to alkaline. When Mark Grossman, he was doing a lecture and he said, the eyes are extensions of your brain. And I said, well, there's one breath in yoga, Kapalabhati, that brings oxygen, bathes the brain, brings oxygen to the brain. And he said, oh, that'd be the perfect breath for yogic eye stretches. So you're oxygenating, you're bathing your eyes in oxygen. I'll just go briefly through the eye stretches. These come from the yoga tradition. They've probably been done for hundreds of years, where you look to the right and you look to the left and you look up and you look down. Then you do the diagonal. So you'll do the upper right diagonal, lower left diagonal, upper left diagonal, lower right diagonal. And what it does is it stretches the muscles around the eyeballs. It keeps them basically fluid. So I do Kapalabhati with the eye stretches. In other words, I'll look to the right and I don't strain. I just look to the right and I'll do 10 Kapalabhati. So if this is 3, I'll do 10. Then I'll do 10 to the left, 10 up, 10 down, and so on and so forth. There's 8 locations for the eyes, the eye stretches. So I'll tell you what, let's do them together. And for beginners, it takes a little while to get the hang of Kapalabhati, but it's not a really heavy breath. It's a light fluttering of the diaphragm, really. A pull here, breath goes out, relax here, breath is entirely passive. So sit up nice and tall, and I'll tell you when to shift the eyes. I'll count it out. I'll do them with you. And if you can't hear my breath, you can just watch my belly moving. So let's begin. You look to the right, and we do 10 Kapalabhatis. Look left. Up. Down. Upper right. Upper left, these are the diagonals. Lower left. Upper left diagonal. Lower right diagonal. Then come to center, inhale deeply. Briefly, suspend breath in, you can close your eyes. Exhale, keeping eyes closed. This would be a good time to do palming if you know it. But you might not know it. So at this point, just keep your eyes closed. Get a nice tall spine. Align with heaven and earth. And very, very gently, open your eyes and blink them like little butterfly wings. And gaze around your space, softly brushing, and see if things don't look a little more vivid, perhaps, and maybe even a little bit more clear. And so that was an application of Kapalabhati along with the eye stretches. I do these daily. My length of doing Kapalabhati for each side is greater than 10 per side because I'm doing a longer session of Kapalabhati. It's known as breath of fire in Kundalini Yoga. But I think that that's a great way to oxygenate blood to the brain, bathe your eyes with oxygen, clean your blood, and illuminate the mind while you do the yogic eye stretches. Should I review palming now, Claudia? Or do most people, I think, know it? Or
I think most people know palming, so I wouldn't be too concerned. But just in case you don't know, it's basically you close your eyes and you use your cupped hands and you just cover them, so you get a deeper rest for your eyes. But yeah, we've covered that before, so don't worry so much about it.
Yeah, and we'll have a chance to do it at the end of my session with Claudia, where I'll be doing a breath meditation named Meditation for a Clear Mind. And a clear mind means clear vision. And we'll do palming at the end of that short breath meditation.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Do we have time for a few seated stretches?
Yes, we can definitely. Yes, definitely. Let's do that. I'm loving this. So I've never combined this Kapala breath, body breath with the eye stretches. So this has been very interesting for me too. Yeah. Loving it.
So these can be done. I'll teach them in a chair because I think many of you are at home probably in a chair. I'm going to shift camera views to a larger view of my space. This is my living room, by the way, which I use as
very
Zoom
beautiful
studio. I have a lot of nice things to look at. Okay, there we go. That's a larger view of my space. And I'm going to take a chair. I'll place it here. And I just want to go through the 6 movements of the spine because having a spine with energy flowing through it is so important. And in yoga, we have the 6 movements of the spine, and they're very simple also. So the first one would be flexion and extension. We can do it together. With an inhale, you just lift up through the spine. And you extend, you lift up through your sternum. And when you exhale, you flex, and you can bring your chin down towards your chest. Inhale, extend, and we'll exhale, flex. Let's do a few more rounds. Inhale, extend, exhale, flex. So moving with the breath, we inhale, exhale. Inhale deeply, lift through the heart. Add in a little smile. Exhale. And one more time, let's inhale, extend the spine. And exhale, releasing the shoulders. Just come back to basically neutral. Take a big inhale, let's let the arms rise. Exhale, come down the sides. Inhale, lift your arms high. Fill the lungs, exhale, coming down the sides. And one more time, inhale, hands high. Now when you exhale, we'll be twisting to the right. If you're in a chair, you can actually bring your left hand behind the back of the chair. Bring your left hand to your right knee, and we twist ourselves to the right. Now, I want to, this is a little subtle thing, but notice as you twist to the right, weight comes off your left sit bone. Twist your waist and navel left. So from your navel down, you're twisting left. which roots your left sit bone, and then the upper torso twisting to the right. We'll take 3 or 4 breaths here, and with each inhale, get a little taller. And when you exhale, twist a little bit deeper, but keep your left sit bone rooted. Release your shoulders from your ears as you breathe. Keep your spine balanced. And then let's all inhale deeply together. Briefly suspend the breath in. Hold the energy. And exhale, simply unwind. And place your hands on your knees. Inhale, sweep both hands high. Exhale, coming down the sides. Inhale, sweep both hands high. Exhale, release down the sides. One more time. Inhale, both hands high. And then we'll exhale. Now move slowly. You exhale, twisting left. If you have your left hand, you can have your left hand behind the chair if you need to. Right hand would be on left knee. Now, twists in yoga really have more to do with length of spine than how far you twist. We tend to just crank ourselves, in this case, to the left, but ground your right sit bone. It becomes more a pure twist when you move waist and navel to the right, which grounds your right sit bone. Then you can spiral from navel up to the left. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Now keep the length as you exhale, twist a little deeper. Again, inhale from bottom to top. Exhale, it's just a tiny movement. You twist deeper, but keep spine tall. One more time. Inhale deep. Here we suspend breath in. It's called kumbhaka in yoga. Retained inhales for power. Just hold the life force in this breath. Don't try to twist deeper now. With the exhale, simply unwind and bring both hands to knees. And from here, just start some circles. Pretty simple. We just circle around to free the lower back, principally speaking. Let's add in the breath. As you go forward, you inhale. As you go back, you exhale. And as we go back exhaling, we apply what in yoga is called Uddiyana Bandha. We pull the navel towards the spine. And by virtue of doing that, you can massage inner organs, all the organs below the diaphragm. So we're just circling around. You'll feel weight shift from sit bone to sit bone. And you can use your hands to assist. Now continue to circle, and through puckered lips, like you're sipping in through a straw. Inhale, 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 inhale. Suspend breath in. We circle a few more rounds. Retained inhale for power. It also allows every cell in your body to absorb more oxygen. Come to neutral. Exhale. And other direction. Here we circle. Now remember the breath pattern. You inhale as you go forward. You exhale with Uddiyana Bandha. As you go back, draw navel firmly to your spine. See if you can increase range of motion, go a little slower. This helps free the lower back and also massages inner organs. All the organs below diaphragm. Through puckered lips, like you're sipping in a straw, continue to circle and inhale, inhale, inhale all the way. Suspend breath in. We circle a few more rounds. And coming to neutral, exhale. Pause here, just rebalance spine. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands float down the sides. For a full life, we need a full breath. Inhale deeply. For a deep life, we need a deep breath. Exhale completely. And one more time, we inhale high. Now this time, we'll do a side bend to the right. You can release the right hand down, you side bend to the right. You can have right hand on your knee or just hanging by the side. Now let's let our neck be soft. So allow the right ear to move towards the right shoulder. Lift your heart a little bit. This opens up the left side body. Good. Now with stay side bending to your right, but with an inhale, just lift the left arm and then let the hand float down a bit here. And we come reaching out into your left hand. This is called neck release pose in yoga. You can move your head a little side to side to find the optimal placement to stretch open the trapezius muscle on the left side of the neck. It's upper muscle that fans out onto your cervical vertebrae. And neck release pose, you have to have the right ear released towards right shoulder. Now very, very slowly, inhale, come up. Good. Wait for an exhale. Inhale, both hands high. Let's just go right for the other side. Release left hand, side bend left. I'm going to place my left hand on left knee, but it doesn't have to be there. Neck is soft, so left ear moving towards left shoulder. Breathe all the way into your hip sockets. Actually, if you place your left hand down on your chair or on your knee and you press it to root the right sit bone, you get even a stronger stretch through the right side of your body. This actually opens liver meridian, very good for vision improvement. Next inhale, stay side bending left, just the right arm lifts. Exhale, right hand floats down. Now play with the angle of the right arm. Find the optimal placement to reach out firmly into your right hand. And meanwhile, play with the position of the head to find the optimal placement for stretching open the trapezius muscle on the right side of the neck. This muscle gets really tight and it degrades our vision. It really does. Tension in the shoulders and the neck really are not good for vision. Now move slowly. Inhale, come up. You can release your right hand to your knee. Then just hang the head on the neck, roll it around slowly. If it doesn't feel good to roll the head around in a circle, you can just have the chin go shoulder to shoulder. Opposite direction. You can do this even with eyes closed. And then come to neutral, rebalance your spine. And then very, very, very slowly open your eyes. So those are just the 6 movements of the spine along with circumduction. Side bend right, side bend left, twist right, twist left, extension, flexion, circumduction. The circles here are actually a combination of all the other 6. So just a very good set you can do seated in a chair, which help improve your posture. How are we doing time-wise, Claudia?
I think this is awesome. We're kind of at the end, but maybe we can do the little bit of a swinging. You were talking about the gallbladder and the kidneys. I think that would be great for anybody that knows the Bates method, long swing. So show us your version with the yogic and, traditional Chinese meridians. I think that would be great to kind of close it off.
Oh, good. Well, we still have a few minutes at the end for meditation for a clear mind.
We do. Yes, we do. Yes.
Okay. So I'll keep the swinging short. This is something, if you do work at an office or a desk, this comes from the Bates method, but in Qigong we have an additional style. The Bates method, basically, you just let the arms hang and you swing, but you shift weight, letting the opposite heel lift. And you let your head move with the shoulders. And the idea in the Bates method is to relax your eyes and just watch your visual field flow by in the opposite direction to which you're swinging. Now in Qigong, this is called ringing the temple gong. Interestingly enough, in Kripalu Yoga, it's known as empty coat sleeves, which I think is a fabulous name. Now in Qigong, the next level of swinging, we add in tapping. With the front hand, we tap upper lungs underneath the collarbones. With the back hand, we tap the kidney area. It's called knocking on the door of life. We're opening the lung meridian, by tapping upper chest. This is where the lung meridian begins. Lung meridian brings chi, prana, life force into your body. And it's the commander of chi in Chinese medicine. And it's said that the kidneys grasp it. They're your batteries. So knocking on the door of life, where we tap, opening lung meridian in the front and tap the kidneys in the back. Ming Men, it's called the door of vitality, the door of life, helps you get more life force into your body and helps you store it. So it's a different way of swinging, and you can still do the base method of having a relaxed visual focus, soft focus, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's slow it down, and we'll find an ending. And then just join me. Inhale, let the arms rise. And you just ground the energy this way. Exhale, hands float down, knees soften. It's called drawing down the heavens in QiGong. So as you inhale, you let the arms rise. I'm going to back up a little bit so my hands don't disappear off the screen. Exhale, hands float down, knees soften. Let's do it 3 more times. Inhale, you gather the light that's above you. And you exhale, draw it down to earth. While you do that, you clear your chakras, your energy field, your whole aura. Good. Inhale. Stay rooted to the earth as hands rise. Exhale. Spine lengthens as the hands float down. 1 more time. Inhale. As if collapsing a rainbow, form a pinnacle of light. And then you exhale, draw all the colors of the rainbow down through the core of your being. And then just pause, feel in your body. Good, we can come back to sit. Those are some very simple practices drawn from yoga and QiGong for the infrastructure. I'm going to change my camera view again. I'll be seated, but you can come to a chair. And I think Claudia said we have just a few minutes left here for a really beautiful breath meditation I'd like to share with you. So whether you're sitting in a chair or you're sitting on the ground as I am, close your eyes, go inside, balance your spine. Align with the energies of heaven and earth. So you can feel very grounded, embodied, stable, strong as a mountain, and as open as the sky at the same time. I'd like to share a quote from Zen Master Sun Sanim, one of my teachers. A clear mind is like the full moon in the sky. Sometimes clouds come and cover it, but the full moon is always behind the clouds. When the clouds disappear, then the moon shines brightly. In other words, your clear mind is always behind the clouds. What are the clouds? The clouds in the mind are stress and worry and doubt, judgments, grudges. These are clouds of the mind. So this is a breath meditation for a clear mind. It works with a mudra, hands placed like so. Back up a little bit. So 1 moment. Just got to adjust. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Hands placed like so. It's a mudra for receiving, and it's also a mudra for giving. Touch the tongue to the upper palate and back of upper teeth. This connects together the energies of heaven and earth. Let me give you the physical instructions first. Inhale deeply until you're completely full. You spend the breath in briefly, and then there's a 4-part exhale. You exhale and pause. Exhale and pause. You're halfway empty now. Exhale and pause. The 4th exhale, you're completely empty. And then you suspend the breath out as long as you comfortably can. I'll talk you through one more round. I'll tell you what's really happening. Inhale deeply, fill up all the way. Suspend the breath in briefly, hold the energy. It's a 4-part exhale, and with each exhale, we let go of stress and worry and doubt, all the clouds of the mind. So exhale and pause, let go of worry. Exhale and pause, let go of judgments. Exhale and pause, let go of stress. Exhale and pause, drop all the baggage. With breath suspended out, see if inside and outside can become one, and all the blessings of the universe pour into your hands. Okay, you're off on your own. Let's do, I'll say, a couple minutes. One inhale gets you to full. A 4-part exhale brings you to empty. And then the breath is suspended out as long as you comfortably can. It might be 2 seconds, it might be longer, it could be 20 seconds. But with breath suspended out, empty of breath, the boundary between inside and outside falls away. Inside, outside become one. And then all the blessings of the universe pour into your hands. Maintain a tall spine throughout. When you briefly pause with the breath in, connect to the earth. When the breath is suspended out, become as open and vast as the sky. Retained exhale is for revelation, for clarity, for merging your energy with the source. The retained breaths, I could even say hold the breath in, hold the breath out. The breath is held as lightly as if a hummingbird flew down to land on your finger. Retained breaths are never held with any strain whatsoever. Let's just do a few more rounds, slow all the parts down. This is a breath meditation about letting go, releasing. Releasing so you can receive. The mudra again, to make an offering, to give away. It's also a mudra for receiving. With the breath suspended out, you enter the gap or the space between thoughts. What Eckhart Tolle called the power of now. Very good. Wherever you are now in the breath sequence, let's all inhale deeply together. Suspend breath in 10 seconds. With breath suspended in, you can contract the pelvic floor. It's called Mula Bandha in yoga. Just hold the energy. Become as unshakable as a mountain. Then in one stroke, exhale through the nose until empty. Draw navel to spine. Suspend breath out. Become as open as the sky. Then with your next inhale, you can release hands to knees or lap. Observe the natural breath. Just to take note inside of the impact of that short breath meditation. Clear mind is like the full moon in the sky. Sometimes clouds come and cover it, but the moon is also always behind them. When the clouds disappear, the moon shines brightly. Same thing for you. Clear sight is always inside. We just have to remove the clouds of the mind, so to speak. Bring hands to heart center, rub them briskly. We'll conclude this whole little set with a little palming. Now, interestingly enough, in QiGong, you have two energy gates in the middle of each palm, Lao Gong, connected to your heart. It's heart protector. pericardium 8. And so we're actually stimulating these energy points, which in Qigong masters use it to heal people, really. Good. Find an ending for that. Place your palms over. Now, if you're at a desk, you can place your elbows. It's easier if your elbows are on a desk, but palms over the eyes are closed. Fingers can cross at the forehead. And just for a few moments, let the warmth of your hands flow into your eyes and relax them. What we're looking for in palming is that the visual field becomes darker and darker as the eyes relax. Again, if you're at a desk, elbows can be on a desk. If you're on the back, you could, in Shavasana and yoga, I often will do palming at the end of a session. Breathe deeply, keep your spine lifted and tall if you're seated. Good, let's inhale here. Now keep your eyes closed. Exhale, release your hands slowly. And then very, very slowly, open your eyes, flutter your eyes. Glance around your space, see if things look more vivid, more clear. And that's it.
Wow, that was beautiful. I really enjoyed that, Daniel. That was wonderful. And it reminded me of my days of teaching yoga, which I haven't done in a long time. And just the combination of the presence, the breath, and I love the idea of the full moon and the clouds. That was just really amazing. So thank you so much. There was one question on YouTube, but I referred it to Dr. Mark Roseman because it's, more of a medical question. Anything, where can people find you? We have a little bit powwow in the Clear Vision Club on Zoom afterwards, but for anyone watching on YouTube, where can people find you? How can they connect with you? Share quickly a little bit about, how people can learn more from you.
Well, the best thing is my website, www.yogaofenergyflow.com. It's all one word squished together, and it's a long word, bunch of words, yogaofenergyflow.com. I have some upcoming programs. I'm doing one with Dr. Mark Grossman through Kripalu Yoga Center. It's live stream. It actually begins tomorrow evening. We do 3 Thursday evenings. It's recorded and given out also to students. We have a lot of resources. We go through a lot of yoga things. Mark provides the medical perspective as an ophthalmologist. So it's the 3-part series about integrating yoga, qigong, breathwork, meditation, and practices for better vision. I'm doing one for the Westchester Yoga Teachers Association. That's also up on my website. That's in June. And then I have a whole bunch of qigong classes, virtual ones, online. Yoga classes are also placed there, and so on and so forth. I'll be at the Omega Institute teaching core yoga faculty the last week of June into July. And I come and go here and there. I'm also in Europe teaching from time to time. That's kind of it in a nutshell. I don't do any social media. Sorry, everyone. I don't do Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, nothing.
That's okay.
I'm just stuck with my website.
That's okay. So you teach online, which is wonderful. So the yoga for the Westchester Association, I think it's just for yoga teachers, correct? Or is that?
No, not at all. It's open to the general public.
Oh, okay.
And that's just a standalone. That will also be done with Mark. We take a lot of time for Q&A because he has a lot of medical questions that arise, and he's really good at answering those. But that's a standalone, open to the general public, but hosted by the Westchester Yoga Teachers Association. And both of those are up on my website.
Great. So those are online programs that you can join online, and you can follow, or you can, subscribe to your newsletter or find you on your website. So thank you so much. That was wonderful. And Rose also said that was wonderful. She had the medical questions. So Mark is a holistic optometrist, and he's trained in traditional Chinese medicine and acupressure, and obviously he's an eye doctor, so he, you know, can answer a lot of these medical questions a lot better than Daniel or I can probably answer them. So thank you so much. This was really wonderful, and it definitely, you know, rekindled my love for yoga and yoga for the eyes, because, you know, at some point, you know, you see these Instagram videos where it's people just rolling their eyes, and it just looks like these mechanical exercises that, you know, but you showed us how you combine them with the mind, with the breath, versus just mechanical eye exercise, in my opinion, don't really work because you don't integrate it into your way of seeing. So thank you so much for enlightening us on the benefits of yoga for the eyes. Anything else?
Claudia, thanks for hosting me. And I've looked also at your YouTube channel and on your website, and you do wonderful work. So
thank you. Thank you. So any final thing you want to say to the live audience here?
No, but I would just say, continue to work on your vision. It's a daily practice, but we'll reap amazing rewards. And the 5 B's: balance, breathe, blink, beam, and brush. Those help. I think Claudia also has the handout. I saw 10 steps for better vision, which also she gives very good recommendations. But don't feel that you're locked into glasses and poor vision that degrades as you get older. You absolutely can improve it and keep it from getting worse. And it just takes some application, but the rewards are well worth it. That's my final plug.
Thank you so much. That was just amazing. And now goodbye, YouTube. We see you next week. I have an amazing guest, a vision trainer from Germany, and her talk is called My Myopic Way to Clarity. So she's also going to share some of what works for her best. So thank you, Daniel. That was wonderful. Look at his website, and maybe you have an opportunity to join one of his workshops, which I'm sure will be amazing. Mark is an amazing eye doctor, so I'm really a big fan of him as well. So thank you so much, everybody. And I see you next week. Bye.